Hello, everyone. How are you? How's it going? Thank you for joining again on a Wednesday, first day of December. And I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Who's here first? Auntie Well. Well. Hello. God's blessings. Thank you. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you, Auntie Well. Penny Lane Banks. Hello. Sunny Day. Hello. And Salty Moab. Ree. Lori, hello. You have a migraine? I hope it gets better. Jay Blair, hello. Toronto Dominion Bank, or TD Epstein Bank of Broward County, Florida? Question mark. I'm going to put another question mark there, Jay. Not sure. Corinne, how are you on a Wednesday? Miss En, hello, you have popcorn? Oh, I haven't had popcorn in a while. That sounds so yummy. Linda, hello. Betty's here. Oh my God, Betty, you're spoiling me. I'm seeing you a lot now. And Linda, hello. You just bought the best popcorn? Tell us which one. It doesn't need salt or butter. That's good. Marlon, hello. Marlon's in the house, y'all. So, Audrey, hello there, and thank you so much. Cece and Julianne, Love, Laugh, Live is here, and Bailey, Erica Perry, well, thank you, and Sarasota, Ashley, thank you, and Tracy Simmons, my Cali sis. Thanks so much. And I want to jump right in. This trial that is going on right now in the New York Southern District is going to be a slow moving trial. Trials are not exciting, right? Unless it's the OJ trial, right? Which was such a spectacle. Hello, Donna, Bo Bonna. I like that. Oh, I'm glad you're here. Evolutions is here. Patrice and Vicky. Hello. Yes, this trial, I mean, it's not as, I don't know, they're not going to let us get too much. It seems like they're making it underwhelming on purpose, right? T. Witten, hello. Judy, hello. Victoria, hello. Have I missed anybody? Uma for Freedom is here. And Freedom Legion with Vanessa, hello. Thank you for joining. So, and Monica, Tina, Mickey, hello. So many people asking how to find out what's going on with the trial. People want to know. Yeah, they do. They do want to know. Hey, Jenna Cooper. Oh, yeah, it keeps on unsubscribing people. It's quite a thing. Hey, Dimples, first time in chat. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you, Dimples. I like that name. That's cute. From London, jolly old London, right? Seabreeze, hello. Hey, Shawnee. Hey, Seabreeze. Yeah, it is one of those things that people do want to know. They should want to know. Hey, La Yadi, Mayan, Banyama. Oh, if I don't get it right. Well, hello, beautiful. Thank you for joining. So, this is the thing. I'll share sources. It seems like Twitter and Telegram are good sources. I've been giving sources as I get them to share with you. And if you want to follow this trial every day, there's an awesome guy on Twitter. Before I end this, I will share the particular gentleman. He's in there like tweeting the entire, like almost, he's like a court reporter. He's amazing. Okay. So I will share his link again. Karen, our beautiful Harlem Sentinels here, meep, meep there. And did I miss Julie Morrow? I haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for joining. Yeah. So there are a few people that are there, boots on the ground, and they are capturing this trial very well. Jennifer Jones, well, hello. And the thing is that I know we talked about, we put our tinfoil hats on and we were, saying, I shared what the gentleman that I watch his channel, and he just said, this is not happening. It's just all a big ruse. But the thing about that I'm going to reserve sort of like I'm going to still cover the aspects of it because there's more to this in a larger international our society and how we treat classism and the elites. So it has bigger implications, and that's why I'm interested in it. On one hand, I mean, it's so many reasons why I'm interested in this case. Hey, Roro Flicks, hello in Michigan. So I believe that it could be going on. Okay, so we're just gonna like play like it's going on and see what happens. Okay, hey Gemini, hello and thank you. So okay, a lot of people have various theories that are floating. I want to hear them all. Okay, I'm curious what you all think. Okay, so anyway, without further ado, it seems that this case to me involves, of course, we know the elite and how they look at the common man and woman and child, and I'll add animal, and the earth. They don't care too much about the earth as well, but it shows their utter contempt for humanity. And it also shows that they feel that they are way above all laws. They create their own laws. And people are absolutely awakening to this. We've known it on a certain level, but this is part of what we call this great awakening, however you want to see it. Let's see, somebody named Casey Bowser says the NYPD are a named defendant. Are they? Great. Well, see, that's the thing. We have people like I have seen actual footage of the siblings going into the court. They're walking in. I mean, people have their masks on and things like that, but there are people that are lining up outside. So and then there are some podcasters. There's one podcast I'm going to share with you all that they have been on this for years now. They've been following Epstein and all of this stuff since he got arrested, and they have a podcast dedicated to that. So they are actually there. And if they felt like it wasn't happening, I think they would have said something. So that's the thing about it. We can reserve our sort of tinfoil hatty kind of theories, but something's happening. What's happening? It's up for debate. Losha, yay, thanks for coming. 420's here, everybody. Hi, Wild Dragon, thanks for being here. So I'll just act like it's happening, okay? With everything that I'm seeing, it seems like it is happening. And maybe I'll get up to New York. Who knows? Maybe that'll happen. Okay, so I have my notes and trying to be a little bit organized with the information. So we have distractions, of course. We have major distractions. And we know why. Okay, so I'm going to start out with telling you that the defense, they want to play the whole she was manipulated. We've talked about that. Their defense strategy seems to be she was manipulated, and they want to attack the victims with their memories, as well as they want to say that the victims are only after money. Hi, Mary. Oh, thanks for catching us live. I hadn't seen you in a bit. Let's see. And Abe is here. Hello, Abe. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you so much. And Susie DeVries, thank you in Ontario. It's so nice to see our international family. So that seems to be the strategy. And, we pretty much thought, we already knew they were going to pull these stunts, right? There's nothing new. But it's fascinating to see. Now, as we are looking at the distractions, Jussie Smollett, or Smollett, I don't know how you say it, Jussie, his trial, did you all know? I'm sure you know because you all are in the know there. Hey, Nixon, good evening to you. Thank you. Well, Jussie's trial, Cornelia, thank you so much, is going at the same timeline on the same timeline as the Maxwell trial. So Jussie is having a trial in Chicago, and it started the same day. Rather odd, huh? Now, Jussie, he's been out and walking around, but I don't even know what his charges are. If anybody knows what his charges are, just, drop them in the chatmosphere, because I'm not interested in his trial. I just know that Kamala Harris is connected to it, okay? So Kamala is connected in some way because she was putting forth some legislation about anti-lynching. So, if you know the stupid details of Jussie and his lying self talking about some Trump supporters with MAGA hats were out at whatever time, 2 a.m, while he was going to get Subway sandwich. It's also goofy, and they poured bleach on him, and he had a noose around his neck, and he kept the noose around his neck. It was completely stupid, okay? But again, he got caught in the lie, but that's going on right now. And Cory Booker was in on this foolery as well. Yeah, Cory Booker, just the typical people that, pull these shenanigans. But Jussie is an actor, and we see actors, they act, right? They're called in to do all kinds of scripts and things like that, okay? So that's going on as one distraction of many. And I just learned that Cuckoo, what's his name? Alec Baldwin. He is going to have some big interview coming up on ABC. Okay. And he's going to just about, I guess, admit that he shot that director. So it's a lot going on. Why he would do that at this time, I have no idea. Jennifer Jones says it was negative 20 degrees. Yeah. Right, negative 20 degrees. If anybody's ever been to Chicago, it's unbelievably cold. They have like polar vortex on another level. So people out, trying to harm people. That's the time when the crime goes down in Chicago, if you can imagine, when it's the numbers like that. People aren't interested in crime and out on the street doing these kind of things. So it's just another lie, another just whatever. So that's going on, and I'm not sure who's following it. The other day, we heard testimony from the pilot, Larry the pilot. Okay, he was probably one of the longest employed pilots for Epstein Maxwell Enterprises, and he named a lot of names. Yes, he came with some names, and he also named some kind of singer that was photographed in front of the plane, and she wasn't named. They're protecting a lot of people right now, as you can imagine. Yeah, Victoria, that's another thing. Supreme Court hearing also going on to possibly knock down Roe v. Wade. So that's going on. It's a lot. Yes. Jennifer says also Alec said he didn't pull the trigger. The bullet just went bang by itself. Okay, Alec. I used to like Alec too. I used to watch 30 Rock. He was so funny on that. But anyway, yeah, he would say that. But it's just odd that he's going to do an interview before his whatever they're going to do. Are they going to try him for that? I'm sure they are. He killed somebody after all. So somebody's got to answer to it, right? So that is going on. And so the pilot, Larry, I don't know if he's going to have to go on the stand again, but flight records are going to be released. So we were wondering about that. I talked about the Black Book yesterday, and I just want to clarify that if you did get the, link to the Black Book, I mean, a Black Book is a Black Book. It just really just has people's numbers in it. And, I just wanted to kind of clarify that I understand. I can look at this in a balanced way. People's names are going to be in an address book. It doesn't mean anything other than it's a contact, business contact, personal, whatever. in that black book, I looked through all the pages, and they had hotels, they had, whoever they called for their jet services, that people in other countries, various people. So it was, contact book. So I know that, saying black book gives it that sort of salacious, thing that you figure it's going to have other, juicy things in it. It really didn't. They redacted the phone numbers and the emails and things like that. So not so big. What is a big deal is that Ghislaine, she has tapes from what I hear. So whoever installed all of the surveillance that was everywhere, and you've probably heard that they had surveillance on pretty much all of their properties, inside all of their properties. So that's really the thing that they want to distract us from, is somebody has the tapes, as they say, the 411. And that's going to be interesting. Let's see what Salty Moab is saying. The FAA released over 2,000 flight logs. Trump flew Florida to New York, not on Lolita. So, yeah, I mean, people did fly on his plane as a rich people kind of, I don't know. They fly on each other's planes. What was going on the planes? Not sure. I want everybody to have to come and give an account, to be honest. I don't care. Even Trump, he should come and give an account for whatever he knows. I know he's already done that. Like, he's very instrumental in the fact that we are even, here today talking about this case, because he was instrumental in bringing Jeffrey to justice for the second time because of that sweetheart deal that he eluded justice. And, I just think maybe everybody should have to be I don't know. Let me just say, this case, this trial is going to be limited. So, for those just wanting some blood in the water, we're not going to get too much out of it, but there should be more that come after this. This should basically open up the floodgates to finding out everybody. It should bring down everything. In my opinion, I'm a little extreme, but I think that. Hello, 8 Win is timeless. Greetings to you. Thank you. It's just so much to this. But so we did see that happening already. And in terms of like pilot Larry, there are also other pilots like Nadia. So I know that we talked about Nadia the other day. I showed you that she has what is it, a YouTube channel, Global Girl, that she hasn't posted to in about 8 years or so. But Nadia Marchenko, she was in their employment as well as a pilot. And why aren't these pilots brought to the stand? Because it's more than just Nadia. I believe that this operation was so large that they taught a lot of the recruiters and different employees to fly so that they could have multiple pilots. This was again an international operation. We want to keep our eyes on that fact and not minimalize it. This is a huge operation, and it had, tons and tons of children and girls, whatever you want to say, children, women coming through a revolving door. They had to have a lot of supply. And I also want to mention that even though this case is about Ghislaine and Epstein, they supplied children to other elites. So do you see how this is not just about these two? I know you know that. I'm just like singing to the choir, but I'm just saying this was an operation, a skin trade. So they supplied lots and lots and lots of children. Okay. And I know that it's been said, I believe Virginia Giuffre, she mentioned in some of her older like testimony that Jeffrey did not like other types of races of children. He only liked white girls, white, little girls. That's all he wanted. If he got another race, like if he, whatever, he said they had to be extremely beautiful. But he had a type. But that doesn't mean, again, all the other people that were supplied, these children, they have all kinds of tastes, like everything under the sun. Okay, so don't let that also negate that this is a huge operation. And Nadia should have to come and speak about her. So Nadia has, imagine these people have gone on to do all these amazing things, so she's a real pilot, and a female pilot. She does aerobatic, flying. So that's why we saw her eating the donut while she was upside down in the air. One of the other, I just want to mention names. So if you want to do research and, keep up with this on your own, I'll mention different names all throughout, our live streams. But this is a name that is part of the dream team, or I'll call it the nightmare team of Ghislaine Maxwell. His name is Christian Everdale. So we've talked about the other lawyers. So he's one, and he had actually defended El Chapo, I believe, or was it he defended El Chapo or helped to bring El Chapo to justice? I believe he defended him. But just, hey, these guys, they're something else. And Bobby, Bobby, as I said, I see her as the equivalent of the Johnny Cochran of this nightmare team. She is the one that is going to be the star lead attorney, right? Is she the lead attorney? Fact check me that Bobby Sternheim is the lead attorney. But anyway, Bobby is a trip, okay? What a trip. This woman is pretty audacious, okay? Which, of course, what would you expect? We wouldn't expect anything less. So Bobby, we're going to hear a lot from her. She started out of the gate pretty strong there. She went with the Eve defense, okay? And I myself was just shocked and chagrined that she went there. I read that, Eve thing where she tried to equate Ghislaine to Eve, and, she's taken the fall for men. And someone said Bobby Cochran. I like that, Tracy. We're going to have to call her Bobby Cochran. I mean, she is something else, isn't she? With that Eve thing, I was so done when she equated her to Eve. I was like, okay, Bobby, I don't know. You better go sit down somewhere, huh? Remember, have several seats, Bobby. So Bobby tried it. She really tried it. Okay. So anyway, let me find out about this whole Eve thing. I know I wrote some notes about her in the Eve defense. We'll call it the Eve in the Garden of Eden defense. Okay. But yeah, what are you going to do with Bobby? Good gracious. So, the thing about Bobby trying that weak and pathetic defense of Ghislaine, I was saying the other day that they want to make Ghislaine sound like she is this poor, wilting British rose, right? Yet she was more educated, came from a stronger background than Epstein. And we are supposed to believe that Epstein controlled her, right? Okay. So she was also, we have to think about the psychology. I'm not a psychologist, but I play one on YouTube. Okay. She comes from a family of 9, children, and she was the baby and she was the favorite. So how would she be a woman who doesn't have a lot of self-confidence? Wouldn't that give you I'm just saying, with my limited understanding of psychology. Does this sound like a woman who could easily be manipulated by a man, a poor man at that? He's not a high value man, a la Kevin Samuels. You know, I bring Kevin Samuels up all the time. Yeah. Okay. So who's manipulating who? Or as that song says, who's zooming who? Because this woman was going to create her own country. If you think I'm kidding, because some of you are kind of maybe hadn't been paying attention to Ghislaine or Ghislaine. Okay, I'm going to play a little excerpt. If you think I'm making this up, I'm tripping. This woman, do you hear me, was going to create her own country. Do you know anybody this audacious that actually thinks this way? If I said this, you guys would have me committed, right? I would sound delusional. I'm going to start my own country called Jennyland. I mean, come on. Who says this? Who does this? So, okay, hold on, fact checkers, before you think, oh, she's making this up. Hold on. I'm going to let you hear it from her own mouth. Okay. Let's see. You know me with my, oh boy. Just hang on, talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Okay, here it is. Here, I found it. Okay. You can see it? Okay. Yeah, Terramar, you know about it. You're my people. Oh my gosh, I see Dom Lynch is here. Hey, Dom. Dom, I'm still crazy, okay? I haven't seen you in weeks. Where you been, bro? I haven't seen you. Okay. All right. Who brought up Dave Chappelle? I always like Dave Chappelle references. Dave Chappelle calls him Juicy. Oh, Juicy Smollett. Yeah, Juicy. You want to live in Jennyland? I'm going to be, listen, if I start my own Jennyland, it's going to be fabulous. Can you imagine? It'll be the most fabulous place. All the freedoms, but you can't be a creep. Okay, but everything's going to be organic. No high fructose corn syrups. Okay. No Illuminati, no boule. None of you can come to Jennyland. Okay, so where am I in playing this? Okay. I thought I had my place. Okay. Listen up, everybody. Stop crunching on your popcorn for a minute.
Ghislaine Maxwell. Why so many headlines and controversy? At Excavate Video, we hadn't paid much attention, figuring it was more hype than reality. Then we uncovered this clip of Ghislaine, Westchester Digital Conference 2014.
I noticed that my speech today was leveraging technology to create a global ocean community. I'm going to change that on you, and I'm going to leverage technology to create a new country. Now, I know I speak with a funny accent, and so yes, I did say country, not company.
What? Start our own country? How's that? And how come? So we're digging deeper. Her arrest, the sex trafficking stories, Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein? Yep. Didn't he die?
Okay, so you heard that. She wants to leverage technology. Isn't that pretty crazy? So we're dealing with a woman who feels that confident and self-assured that she's going to start her own country, okay? And she has the UN backing her. She's had speeches at the UN. Come on now. Who is zooming who is what I want to know, okay? So Jeffrey Epstein, some poor guy, some regular schmegular guy from Brooklyn, dropped out of college twice, was a teacher, drove a cab. Come on, he had the biggest come up ever. There is just so much to this, but I'll assure you that my personal opinion is she is not some Eve who is taking the fall for a man. That's my opinion, okay? So if you didn't believe what we were saying, because I know a lot of people have brought up Terramar, then that you heard it from her British accented mouth, okay? She wants to start her own country. Now let's go to the Terramar. I want to show a little bit about Terramar here. Okay, from Canuck News. Canuck, did I say that right? Canuck. All right, so the audacity of this group of people, unreal. Okay, so Terramar, submarines and the elite. Ghislaine Maxwell's undersea charity, Terramar, has raised some significant questions. The more information uncovered about Terramar, the Terramar project, its supporters, I want to know who they are, and partners, it would appear the elite have been using the ocean and its international laws to remain elusive and engage in illegal activity under the guise of saving the ocean. Multiple web pages have been removed by Google. Isn't that interesting? And many internet archives about Ghislaine Maxwell's company. So they've been scrubbing the web. And Google wouldn't be assisting in hiding connections to the company now, would they? Thankfully, screenshots remain, particularly about Richard Branson's support of Terramar. No surprises there. Richard Branson. After Maxwell's arrest, it was discovered she had married Scott Borgerson, who owns, now again, for all of you all that think that we have our tinfoil hats on too tight, we have been talking about the oceans and watching the water and admiralty maritime law. It all factors in here. So if you are just starting out on your research, you finally admit that your crazy, kooky family member that last year you were laughing at, but might actually be onto something, this is a place you can start to research. You know, I hope it helps you. And I hope that more people get involved with knowing how this has been going on behind our backs. These people have, you know, they've been running big operations. So this secret husband, Scott, who I hear, okay, allegedly has another girlfriend, okay? He didn't wait long, but they were supposedly married, okay? He owns a company, Cargometrics, the company is called. It claims to have digitalized the global shipping industry. So technology, big tech factors in here, okay? And Scott described his technology as the NSA of global trade, everybody. Isn't that a very convenient man to marry secretly, who would be very astute in technology? He has a cargo metrics company for digitalized global shipping. I don't know. My tinfoil hat is just right here, ready to put it on. In the right hands, this may be a useful technology, and in the wrong hands, it would be a great way to hide nefarious activities like, I won't say it, but you say it, okay? All of these various things that someone could do, okay? And I won't get into the gruesomeness of some of these things. But again, for those that think that Ghislaine is this wilting Irish rose, she knew how to pilot helicopters again and submarines. For what benefit? Prior to establishing Terramar, Ghislaine became romantically involved with Ted Wyatt, the tech billionaire who co-founded Gateway, okay, after she broke up with Jeffy. It would seem his connections were instrumental in Ghislaine's ocean project taking off. Ted Wyatt is a billionaire and a philanthropist. He attended the University of Iowa And I guess he dropped out, as many of those tech billionaires do. So let's see what else they're saying. Ghislaine helped Wyatt obtain and renovate the yacht Plan B, which was equipped with a helipad on board and as well as a submarine, which Ghislaine knew how to operate. It is said that Wyatt's check writing helped secure the Terramar project's place at conferences. Okay. Yes. And let me just jump through. Ted Wyatt also donated at least $10 million to William J. Clinton Foundation. Surprise, surprise. I wanted to get to the part where they had a digital passport that she was going to offer to people who wanted to become a citizen of Terramar. She also had a TED Talk, if you could stomach her talking. She does a TED Talk. I believe you can still find it on YouTube. But there are lots of people here that were, you have John Kerry. Mentioned. And what was he involved in? I know he does a lot with, what is it, UN stuff. So you have a lot of people connected, okay? I was trying again to see about this. If it doesn't have it here, you can easily find it, that it was some sort of digital passport, but I don't see it at this moment. But what are you all saying? Hey, Lee. Very enlightening. Thank you. Yes, I mean, it is one of those things. Notice how all these people are connected. Exactly. Excuse me. Hey, CW. Hello from Southern Cali. Exactly. So what else did I have? My notes, my handy dandy notes here. So let me see. Let me make sure we're talk amongst yourselves again. Okay. I'll go back to my slides. That'll probably prompt me. So the Terramar project. Oh, here it is. This is the picture of the ID passport. So lots of people involved in this, okay? It says the high seas are unregulated, as we already know. And there are lots of teeny pictures here, but you could already see. Receive a free digital passport along with your pledge. And I mean, she was connected to even big companies. Like, if you don't know about this company, Yves Delorme, I want to show you something real quick to just show you how big. So this company, if I'm not pronouncing it right for my Frenchy people, I'm sorry. Yves Delorme, okay? If you don't know what it is, I'll tell you. So they were getting, you know, pretty big promotional things. So let me show you Yves Delorme for anybody who wants to know. It's luxury bedding out of the France Frenchy people, okay? Let's look at a little bit of this. Okay, guys, just humor us a little bit. Okay, Yves Delorme, whose name was attached to this, okay? Can you just imagine? Okay, look at this, everybody. Sheets for $450. That's all. You're not eating popcorn on that or doing too much of anything else, right? Okay, so yeah, look at the prices here. Yeah, you see who we're dealing with? $550 for sheets, cotton sheets. Really? You kidding me? I just thought you would find that interesting. They're having a sale over here for this one. Only $350. Okay? Yeah, this is a club and we're not in it. Okay? Yeah. So just to show you that, she was being taken very seriously. All right, very, very seriously. And let's see what else. Oh, the Terramar project. I had another thing, but I'll just move on. And yeah, the Eve defense. Again, for a woman who is going to start her own country, I doubt that she is going to be fooled by too many people. Now, there is another name that came up. Oh, wait, I stopped sharing. Let me go back to my slides. Another name that came up is with this woman, Eva Dubin. So these are names that will come up possibly. What did you say, Sharon? Sharon says the Eve's Delorme store near you is empty. Oh, wow. Is it? I know from my hometown, Philadelphia, they had a boutique somewhere on in Manayunk, on Main Street in Manayunk. So for my Philly Johns, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So interesting, Sharon. So Eva comes up, and she was a girlfriend to Epstein. Okay. Now I'm bringing these names up because I'm wondering, are these people going to ever be called to testify in some kind of way? Because there's so many people connected, so many names, okay? And I know they're questioning just 4 women that were children at the time, but this woman's name came up, and it was interesting because let me tell you about Eva. Had you heard her name attached to this? Let me know if you've heard about Eva. Let's go to her name being pulled into this. Okay. So Eva, she is one half of a New York power couple. The butler, again, we get a lot from the butlers. They know a lot. He is a butler to this power couple. She's a Swedish woman who, this would be her husband. The butler saw an exchange happening where a young woman, girl, I'm going to say teen, they use here, was distraught. And she was in the house of the Dubins, okay? And she worked for them as, I guess, maybe sometimes she was a nanny, but she was very distraught. And the butler, who was employed by the Dubins at the time, he questioned, how, just being concerned, like what's going on. And she was crying. And she described being, let's see, what did she say happened? Some island horror she told him of. The Epstein Island. Okay, so she had been to the island. And she, again, worked for this woman, Eva, who was his ex-girlfriend, but they remained friends. So when the butler, who was named Ronaldo Rizzo, he was shocked that when he asked her age, she was only 15 years old. Okay. So I just want you to know that these stories are out here. You could say allegedly all you want and everything else, but this man, this is his story. So I just want to mention that about Eva. And then there's something else I want to mention about Eva, which was a little bit. Oh, and this is the podcast. Remember I told you I wanted to tell you about a podcast if you want to follow. They have a Twitter account and it's called The Prince. The title is The Prince and the Pervert, okay? And they've been following this for a long time. So Uncle Jeff is what, remember I just showed you Eva, the Swedish woman. She is a doctor and a philanthropist, okay? And Uncle Jeff Epstein's glowing testimony from ex-girlfriend thought the Epstein case couldn't get weirder. Here's this story of a 30-year relationship between cancer philanthropist, that's the woman Eva, and Jeff Epstein. Dr. Eva Anderson Dubin, we've heard a lot about her relationship, you know, the relationship with Epstein and Ghislaine, but she's another ex-girlfriend that's very significant. She was actually Miss Sweden in 1980 and is now a physician and a philanthropist. She works on breast cancer philanthropy. She's the mother of 3, and she dated Epstein for 11 years. They remained close friends until his, quote, death, his allegedly death. Much to the annoyance of her husband, Glenn. Yeah, it's not good to remain friends with your exes. That causes some problems, especially if it's Epstein. So this is a picture of them when they were together. So Virginia named the Dubins, and so she is Virginia Giuffre is the one that, like I said, she's the real, her testimony is explosive. So her husband is a hedge fund owner, and I'm just reading through this. They have the Dubins have a cancer facility in New York, and in their names, and Epstein donated to it under the ruse of a trust named after one of the Dubin daughters. Oh, this is weird. This is real weird. Now listen to this. One of the Dubin's daughters, Epstein wanted to marry her. Ugh, this is so gross. And I believe he was called Uncle Jeff, okay? But even more disturbingly, Jeffrey Epstein, one of his staff members, reported that he had a naked photo of this child on his wall. Just so freaking weird. And her kids called him, like I said, Uncle Jeff, and he tutored the eldest child in mathematics. Oh my goodness. So they're also connected to Les Wexner. He allowed Eva to use his yacht. And I guess she recovered from breast cancer, it says. So anyway, they are really tied in here. And it's a lot to it, okay? So I wanted to just show you that it's so many people that are attached to this. Let me go back to my slides to stay on track, and I'm going to come and see what you guys are saying in a bit. But these are names that, again, I want you all to realize that it's so much more to this, and we should be hearing more people. I'm going to plug my computer in. Just bear with me a minute. I don't want to lose power right in the middle of everything. Okay, so that is Eva Dubin. And one of the biggest things that is coming out is memory, the whole issue of memory. Okay, and you've probably heard this is one of the strategies of the defense. Okay, And this is a name that is coming up as big in this case. Her name is Elizabeth Loftus, okay? And I want to tell you about Elizabeth Loftus. Elizabeth is an American cognitive psychologist and an expert on human memory. She has conducted research on the malleability of human memory. She's best known for her work in the misinformation effect and eyewitness memory, and the creation and nature of false memories, including recovered memories of childhood sexual abuse. Okay, so I want you to just realize that they bring their experts out, and Elizabeth is one of these people who they are using to attack the 4 women who were children. Yes, Allison, she does look, yeah, like you said. I think so too. She does look creepy. And I want to just say, when it comes to her, let's see. I want to tell you that I want you to hear her for a minute, okay? Let me see. Oh, this is what I want to show you. Before I let you hear her, I want to share an article. I believe it's one from the Toronto Sun. Okay. Is this the one? The Toronto Sun? No, that's the Sunday Times. Is this the Toronto Sun? Toronto Star, rather. Okay, wait a minute. That's not the article. Let me go to the one I want to share from the Toronto Star. Okay, here it is. Okay. I want you to know a little bit about this woman, Elizabeth Loftus, and what she's been up to. Okay. At Weinstein's trial, defense takes aim at accusers' memories. Okay. So we have Harvey Weinstein coming into the picture. With Harvey Weinstein's fate hinging largely on what his accusers remember about alleged sexual assaults years ago, his lawyers Friday turned to an expert known for her studying false, repressed, and unreliable memories. It doesn't take a PhD to know that memory fades over time. Cognitive psychologist Elizabeth Loftus told jurors at Weinstein's New York City rape trial, as memories fade, Loftus said, people become more vulnerable to post-event information, including media reports that can distort what they remember. They also can distort their own memories with inferences and guesses about past events. Okay, false memories. This is going to be a big part of the defense, everybody. False memories can be experienced with a great deal of detail, a great deal of emotion, even though they're false, she said. The emotion is not a guarantee you're dealing with an authentic memory. Loftus took the witness stand a day after prosecutors rested their case against Weinstein. It featured more than 2 weeks of testimony, including the accounts of 6 women who say that once powerful Hollywood boss subjected them to vile sexual behavior. So what do you think about Miss Loftus and her whole expert testimony and her background with attacking witnesses? Now, we know that, of course, we've seen a lot of famous men come through the legal system, such as Bill Cosby, and they brought out a litany of women who had claimed that he had done things back as far as the 60s, right? When he first kind of started his career as a comedian. I think they had lots of women from the 60s, 70s, 80s. And this is when we were told, believe all women, right? Didn't we hear that? Believe all women. Let's see. Hey, Lisa. So she studied all about false memories. That's what she knows and all she will talk about. Exactly. And she actually has, where they even give false memories to people. I'm going to let you hear a little tad bit of, I think she did a TED Talk. I'm not even liking TED Talks anymore. Yeah, Eve, right? Lots of Eves. Okay, so let's share just a little tidbit of this doctor. How reliable is your memory? We talked about that a little bit, about memory. How reliable is memory? I believe memory is reliable, especially when it has to do with trauma. How else are victims going to get any kind of justice? They're just going to be attacked. So just listen to this for a bit.
Therapists can't ethically plant false memories in the mind of their patients, even if it would help the patient. But there's nothing to stop a parent from trying this out on their overweight or obese teenager. And when I suggested this publicly, it created outcry again. There she goes. She's advocating that parents lie to their children. Hello, Santa Claus. Another way another way to think about this is, which would you rather have? A kid with obesity, diabetes, shortened lifespan, all the things that go with it, or a kid with one little extra bit of false memory? I know what I would choose for a kid of mine, but
But she doesn't have any kids, everybody. So this doctor, she advocates for actually installing false memories for, things that you want to change behaviorally. So just a real creep. But I want to read from a comment that I felt it was, sometimes the comment section is where I get a lot of understanding. So there was a comment, and I even liked the comment because I listened to this entire TED Talk just for research purposes, but she's disgusting. Okay, I want to read this from one of the commenters. She says, the idea put forth by Elizabeth Loftus and other FMSF supporters that repressed memories are a kooky, made-up phenomenon too out there to be real. In Loftus's book, The Myth of Repressed Memory, she writes, I don't question the fact that memories can come back spontaneously, that details can be forgotten, or even that memories of abuse can be triggered by various cues many years later. Based on well-known literature by both trauma experts and survivors, the above is a fairly sound description of repressed memory. It's hard to understand, then, Loftus's insistence that repressed memory is a myth. That is because Loftus's definition of repressed memory is not derived from trauma experts or survivors, but rather from the population that she is steeped in, alleged perpetrators. The accounts given to Loftus, as detailed in her book, describe repressed abuse memories as shocking, bizarre, out of sync with reality, delusional, and entirely baseless, according to the accused. Allowing alleged incest perpetrators to define repressed memory is like allowing Harvey Weinstein to define sexual trauma. Abusers have been calling their victims crazy since the dawn of time. Loftus lent authority to that diagnosis. That was one of the most powerful comments. If you want to listen to that TED talk, because everybody in the comments section was, they thought she was some kind of wonderful, hero, and she's doing great work to, of course, we know that there are some issues around justice and people getting blamed for things and they're innocent. So they have Project Innocence, to look into the DNA. We've heard about these things, but she's attacking, it seems very specific to sexual abuse, and she's defending the perpetrators. And there's such a weird disconnect, because these tend to be feminists, right? They talk out of both sides of their mouth. One minute we are supposed to believe all women when it serves their agenda, right? But when we're talking about this and other cases, now we have to attack the memory of these women. This is horrible. And I don't like where this is going. And I wonder if the jury is going to really be clued into this, because it's disgusting what they're doing. So let's see. And there's several, articles about her. If you want to talk about, if you want to look into this memory expert, but let's see where we are here. I'm going to share another. Let's see where I am. This helps me to stay on track. Let's see. What are you all saying? Oh, good. Hey, Julianne. I bet Kathy O'Brien has seen her. Interesting. Yeah. So on with the rest of. Oh, these are some of the quotes by Elizabeth Loftus. She says, memory, like liberty, is a fragile thing. And also she has been quoted to say, your memory is like Wikipedia. You can go there and edit it, but so can others. So you see where she's going. That's what she looks like when she's on the stand. I'm going to be nice. But yeah, I don't know about this Elizabeth character. What a character, okay? Yes, I agree, misunderstood. It is. It's very toxic. Hey, Marie, Jen, do you think this trial has happened already and this is just to wake people up? I'm open to all the suggestions. I've seen, Marie, where people like the siblings are going into the trial. And again, like I said, these podcasters that have been following this for years, they're actually saying that they've gone into the trial. And there's a guy that I mentioned the other day, he's taking like notes where he's sharing the actual, like you could follow it in real time on Twitter. And I'm going to share so you can know what, if you want to follow along. But it is something that it is a head scratching moment, Okay, let me go back to something else. I'm going to share another clip. And you've probably seen this, okay? So many people know about these things. And that's why I'm saying we have to have more people come through. Now, you may have heard this reporter on the hot mic, okay? Let's listen to it again. Her name is Amy Robach. So check out this hot mic.
I've had the story for 3 years. I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air.
The clip, filmed earlier this year, was allegedly captured by an ABC News insider and released on Tuesday by the investigative news outlet and activist group Project Veritas.
It was unbelievable. We had Clinton, we had everything.
The video caught Amy Robach speaking to a producer on a hot mic off air, talking about how they had one of Epstein's alleged victims, Virginia Roberts Giuffre, ready to come forward, but executives squashed the story.
First of all, I was told, who's Jeffrey Epstein? No one knows who that is. This is a stupid story. Then the palace found out that we had hurtful allegations about Prince Andrew and threatened us in a million different ways. We were so afraid we wouldn't be able to interview Kate and Will that also quashed the story.
Robach Robach went on to express how she felt about how Epstein died while he was in jail.
Do I think he was killed? 100%. Yes, I do. Because he made his whole living blackmailing people. There were a lot of men in those planes, a lot of men who visited that island, a lot of powerful men who came into that apartment.
Meantime, in a statement Tuesday, Robach said the network never intentionally killed an Epstein piece and called the recordings a private moment of frustration. She said in the statement, "I was upset that an important interview I had conducted with Virginia Roberts didn't air because we could not obtain sufficient corroborating evidence to meet ABC's editorial standards about her allegations. My comments about Prince Andrew and her allegation that she had seen Bill Clinton on Epstein's private island were in reference to what Virginia Roberts said in that interview in 2015. I was referencing her allegations, not what ABC News had verified through our reporting." The network issued a similar statement, which read, "At the time, not all of our reporting met our standards to air, but we have never stopped investigating the story. Ever since, we've had a team on this investigation and substantial resources dedicated to it. That work has led to a 2-hour documentary and 6-part podcast that will air in the new year."
Now, Project Veritas says that it intends to continue to investigate how media outlets cover stories. Reporting from outside of Jeffrey Epstein's home in New York, Trinity Chavez, RT.
Okay, so you may have seen that Project Veritas does amazing reporting, but I just want to just share that there are many people, including journalists, that have been, getting information. It's such a large, operation. It's like an octopus, tentacles everywhere. And I wanted to just say that personally, you may be touched by operations that are similar. And that's why I'm saying this should be something that society should be concerned about. All of us should be concerned about. This is a big thing, in terms of it involves the elite. But many people are engaged in these things that may not be rich and powerful and things like that. They are just regular people that are engaging in these kind of things. And I want to share something before I talk about something else. I happen to know 2 women. I did a travel nursing assignment down in St. Croix. And what's weird about this is when I was working down in St. Croix, this would have been around the time that a lot of this Epstein stuff was going on. And I would have to go to St. Thomas in order to go home on breaks and things like that. So I'd have to take that, that seaplane that they fly over to St. Thomas from St. Croix. And it was just a lot of weirdness down in the Virgin Islands, I have to say. Now that I'm looking back in retrospect, now I see that it was so much going on. And that's probably why I'm really interested in this, because I know that a lot is going to come out in terms of the Virgin Islands. Like, my family lived in St. Croix in the 80s. So we have like a little bit of a connection to that island. But one of the nurses that I worked with, it's kind of like story time. One of the nurses I worked with, she was a rather, I'll say, voluptuous woman, but she was just beautiful, but really sweet and everything. And it was something about, like, she thought that, I was somebody who would be interested in talking about conspiracy theories. We had never talked about anything before, but that was the first time I heard about David Icke. She had shared a book. It was a paperback book called, you probably know about it, The Greatest Secret or something like that. But she shared it with me and she said, "Please read this because I'd like to talk to you." And we worked night shift. So, a lot of times, people would be asleep and we would be in the nursing station talking and doing our charting. And we would just talk about different things. So I told her I would read it and get back to her. I did read through it, but I had this sort of like, I stopped because I couldn't go on when he started talking about like reptilians and things like that. I was like, okay, I'm out of here. But I read through most of it. But I had, at the time, I had this resistance. Like, it takes you a while to kind of warm up to certain concepts. But anyway, she invited me to have lunch with her and a friend once a week. So I would come to her. She had like a beautiful townhouse overlooking the ocean, and she would just order lunch and we would sit around and talk. And her friend was this like, you could see she was like this woman who stayed in the sun too long. She had like this orange leathery skin, but she was really nice. And they would tell me stories. And I'm going to tell you, these stories were shocking. They were actually sex slaves, okay? And they were passed around and traded to very wealthy men. So when we hear about these various people that were involved, like hedge fund people, all kinds of very wealthy men, these two women that I would sit down with once a week, they were actually girls that were traded around. And when they became teenagers, they were traded around to older men. Like, these were dignitaries. One woman, she said she had a flat in London, and she was traded around to all of the, parliament members and various businessmen in England and internationally. She said she was very beautiful, even though at this time she was like leather skin, orange, over sunned. That wasn't what she looked like as a girl. She was stunning. But I think that what happens is, anybody who has like a psychology background, and the other woman, the nurse that I worked with, she was very voluptuous, she was overweight. Come on now, don't be touchy. She was overweight. And I believe that, I've heard this before, people that are sexually abused, they will gain weight so that they can become sort of invisible, right? They don't want to be seen as attractive because they've been abused for all their lives, especially as a child. So these women had their stories were stunning. I was floored by the things that they told me. And I couldn't relate because I've never been through that. Okay. But they knew that I had a background that was intriguing, and I did share my story with them. So she knew, like, this nurse, that she knew it was something. She had like a really perceptive, gift about her. So I just want to share that these things happen. You may know people, you may be this person who has ever been through this. So this is not conspiracy theory. And like I said, when they shared their stories, it was heartbreaking. Now, the woman that was the friend of the nurse, she just like had this little corner, on the island. She lived just this hippie kind of life, my kind of people. She used to do colonics. If you've ever heard of a colonic, she would do colonics, and she was like some kind of naturopathic kind of healer. And she just lived a real simple life, off the grid kind of thing. And it was understandable because she was living this high life from the time she was a child. She was traded into the sex trade by her father, by her family, her parents. Okay, so this is real. This is very real. And I also want to share that these type of things happen also on levels like, okay, say in Atlanta. I've lived in Atlanta, okay? And for anybody that knows about Atlanta, these things happen in Atlanta a lot, okay? You may have a guy who is very charismatic, and he can have a lot of women. Remember I said the other day that this type of thing cannot be successful without women. Women are the ones that give the legitimacy to it, okay? Especially if they could recruit a woman who can speak well, and she may have an education that could impress people in the higher levels of society. So they will recruit women to legitimize their sex trade, their trafficking, okay? So you could see this in, okay, I'll give an example. There's a man in Atlanta. He has a trucking company. And he has so many women working for him. And what he does is he has so many women, and they will be termed as secretaries or different other people that are employed by him. And it's like a harem. And a lot of men in Atlanta, I'll just say that I know, I've lived in Atlanta and witnessed this kind of stuff. It's like a harem, okay, where they recruit women who are single mothers, Okay. And the single mother thing is not always typical of poverty and things like that. It could be a woman who lost her husband in terms of she's a widow, but they know the vulnerability and they recruit these kind of women through other women. Do you see? And then they might hire them, give them housing. They turn it into like a communal type of thing because that the women are not doing well financially. So they pull together their resources and they practice a sort of group economics. And whatever talents and strengths one woman has, they just build a sort of family, like a sister wife type of thing. And it gives these women a sense of protection because this man is very charismatic. Okay. So he'll determine what the women wear. And the women have to wear high heels and very feminine. They have to have their hair long and lots of makeup and beautiful. They, it's a lot of love bombing because these are narcissists. These are like cult leaders. Okay. And they'll go shopping. They'll get a whole new look, like a whole makeover. And so this man controls them. And the children that are now involved in this, it can be the same thing that Jeffrey Epstein started with. It's the little light touch massages, things like that. Oh, give him a foot massage. And the women are just jumping and wanting to cater to this man. It's like a pimp kind of thing because it's the same breaking down psychologically that pimps do. This happens to these women, these vulnerable women and children. And if they don't comply with the demands of this man, and he usually has a woman that works very close with him, who can be a sort of girlfriend 1 minute and a friend and a whatever title they take on for this operation. And if the women are not complying, they're threatened with violence. That happens. They're threatened with being kicked out onto the streets, and they're vulnerable. So I just want you to realize that this is happening so much. And this is why we have to be concerned about what's happening to vulnerable people in our society. We have to do something in our society where people are not left in these positions of vulnerability. And I already brought it up that broken homes, that's been a major issue. People that are left to their own devices, single moms and things, and they are vulnerable to these kind of predatory things that happen. And these kind of people that take on these operations, they get into the woman's life. A lot of times these women have daddy issues. They've been molested. They've had several abortions. They've had a lot of shameful things in their past, and that's used to control them. And that's what's being done now in this case, in this trial. I want us to be very mindful that these Jane Does or these Jane whatever, they're using pseudonyms. They are being put on a stand, and all of their most shameful secrets are being brought before a court to be judged. And they may not have ever done these things had they not been vulnerable. So I just want you to realize that these are the mind games that are happening. That's why it's hard for women to come forward and go before such scrutiny, is that they have things they're so ashamed of. And people that are predators and that are apologists for predators, they know how to use these things against these women. They are even using one of the Janes or whatever, she has had drug abuse in her background. Well, what else would people do when they're broken? They resort to drugs. That doesn't mean her story is not true, though. And that's why I hope that the jury will look past these games that the defense is playing. And those are the things that we can pray about. is that the jury will have the heart and the courage to fairly listen to these stories, because they're going to hear a lot of salacious things about orgies and all kinds of things that have happened. Even some of the recruiters that were once on the other end being abused, they can turn around and then recruit other children to be abused. It carries on. So it's a lot to take into consideration. This is pervasive. It is something that we have to get this under control. We have to stop this. We cannot have a society that the vulnerabilities of people are used in this way. So I just want to just put that out there. And I know you all have lots of stories that you can share. If you want to share any stories like this that illuminates these things, you're welcome to be a guest. As you know, I'm talking about this case. I may not come on every day and talk about the particulars of this case, because it is dragging on, of course, but if there are bigger, aspects of it that I feel are something that we could use in terms of educating ourselves, prayer points and things like that, I will share it in relation to this case as it goes on for 6 weeks. I don't know all the particulars about if Ghislaine is really gonna, be tried in terms of facing 70 or 80 years. I think I heard initially it was 80 years, the rest of her life in jail, or, the other theories that are floating on. But I know one thing. I believe in justice. Even this system that is broken, that is, stacked against, the regular person, I believe that God can use the heart of anybody to bring about justice. So I have to keep that hope and the faith that I have in God. And the fact that we've never been more aware of these things ever in our world history. When have you ever known us talking about these things the way that we are? Even though the media is not covering it, it is being talked about. We are more aware than we ever have been. So that has to be for a reason. Don't you feel? Why would we be awakened to these things only for us to just see people constantly get away with it? They're not going to be able to run these kind of operations like they have been, because we were asleep, a lot of us. So I just want to say that. And I'm going to jump in and see what you all are saying. Let's see. I'm going to go to my next thing I wanted to share. Oh, I just wanted to share a fun fact. Another thing that kind of shows you a little bit about this Ghislaine. Ghislaine once gave Prince Andrew a puppet of his likeness as a birthday gift. Don't you find that interesting? And that was funny for me to see this fact after I had already called her the puppeteer. So it was like a confirmation. Again, she gave Prince Andrew a puppet that was him, basically the likeness of him, as a birthday gift. So what do you think she was communicating through such a gift? And also I want to say that, you've heard of, the Mandela effect. And I kind of want to ask you to drop this in the chatmosphere. Which is right? Is it Looney Tunes with a U or Looney Tunes with 2 O's? How do you remember Looney Tunes? And I thought this would be apropos because we are living in loony times. What do you remember? Let me see what you all say. Which one is it? Looney Tunes? And also, if I want to thank you, if you want to tip your hostess, this will be the way to do it. And I want to thank you for that. How do you remember it? Is it, oh, Sharon says it's Tunes with 2 O's. Who else? Lisa remembers it 2 O's. You all are sure about this, right? 2 O's. Okay, anybody else? Hey, Donna Bobana, I like that. The fact that they are trying so hard to hide this trial is creating more interest. It's the Streisand effect. Yeah, I like that. It is. You remember it 2 O's as well? Oh, Karen remembers 2 O's. Live, laugh, love, 2 O's. So we don't have anybody that remembers it by the U. Everybody's saying, oh. Foxes on mushrooms. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in a while. Hello. You're saying I can't wait for this all to be general knowledge. The fools in my fam are still distracted by, this. Yep. And you notice all the timing, right? Foxes on mushrooms of the Omarion variant. I'm calling it the Omarion. You remember it both, Nixon? Really? Both? That's fascinating. Wow, we're getting a lot of OOs. Diana remembers it OO. Let's see. Gosh, I don't see anybody who's remembering it the other way. Audrey says 2 O's. Okay, so this is a whole memory thing. Sunny Day is saying 2 O's. 2 O's. Yeah. Okay. 2 O's and 2 O's. Yeah. Thank you, Donna, for putting the both together. Looney Tunes. Interesting. Oh, we have one. Okay, Shawnee. Shawnee remembers it Tunes with a U. Really, Shawnee? Well, Shawnee, I wonder if this is a generational thing. Because I'm still like, I talk about this Mandela effect with certain people. I haven't talked about it in a while, but Girl Code talks about this, Let's see. Hey, Shayna. And if you go to a cartoony children's movie in the theater, you will see how supernaturally all this is woven together, ironically. Oh, yeah? Oh. Jen. Hey, Jen. Thanks for joining. She remembers Tunes with a U. Oh. Marie, you're saying your first thought was 2 O's? Jennifer Jones, you remember with the U? Oh. You say you care. Oh, another one, Rebecca with the U. Marlon says 2 O's. Mitzi, hey Mitzi, Tunes. You remember it that way. Allison, you remember Tunes and you're in your 60s? Okay. Thanks, Allison. And definitely Tunes for you. You're not old. Uma says Tunes with a U. Okay. And misunderstood you. Mandela is real and it shifted years ago. Interesting. Sharon says, tell us, I can't take. I don't know, Sharon. That's why I wanted to find out what you all were remembering. Hey, Madeline, you say Tunes with a U? Oh, my. Teresita, Tunes with a U. Karen, you say, yes, Jen, I think it is generational thing that at a certain time point they switched. Oh, fascinating. Thank you, Karen. Judy remembers Tunes with a U. You guys are great. Oh, yeah, Allison, that's another one. The Berenstein Bears and Baron. Yes, that's spelling. Yes. Yeah, so Pamela, you remember the U. All right. It just depends. So I said I was going to show you if you want to follow the trial and you want to follow it by somebody who's doing real good. Oh, also, remember I told you before I do that I was going to start a Pinterest just to kind of collect a lot of the things about this trial and other things. I'm just going to put it together. If you want to follow, if you want to borrow things, I'll share memes and things like that. It'll be at Jennifer Eason Pens. Okay. So you can go there to grab anything you want. You are welcome to anything. All right. Hi there. I am. Hey, hey. I have not seen you in our chatmosphere. Thank you for joining. Hugs around the world. Yes, yes, yes. Mitzi. There's a song that goes with this, right? I don't remember. I'm not sure. Donna, you're saying you're 54 and you say tunes with a U? All right. That's wonderful. Hey, Ron. He says, occurred after Bugs was MK Ultra. Oh, gosh. Oh, wow. Avenging Scapegoat. Hey, I watched way too many cartoons growing up. I should remember. Too busy coping, I guess. Yeah, that's okay. What did your hubby say? That he can't remember? It's been so long. I can understand that. So that's the Pinterest, and I'm going to stop the screen just to share real quick. Like I said, I would share the Twitter. Okay. Okay, so some of the people that are following, I told you the hashtags. If you put in Ghislaine Maxwell trial or Ghislaine Maxwell trial tracker, you will come up with, let's see, I'm going to go to the homepage and I'm going to show you the gentleman that is, his name is here. Matthew Russell at Inner City Press. If you want to follow, I'm talking, this guy is doing like amazing journalism. Okay, so just an hour ago, just to give you an example, he says, witness Matt backs up Jane on Ghislaine's role of Ghislaine while Epstein's interlocking lodge renamed story. So he gets into this like step by step. You can see how often he tweets. Okay. So this is the circus. Ghislaine's brother holds a no question press conference on Foley Square and says they have complained to the UN and I guess this is the whole UN thing. They're trying to get her released on the grounds that they're saying the conditions are poor. So he's the brother that is really, he's her ride or die brother. Okay. And I believe the twin sisters are coming to the trial every day too. So here you are, for the people that think that this is maybe not going on. Here you are, another kind of piece of the, whatever, I don't know what to call it. Okay. But I'll still cover it. And Karen, you're going to go down to Foley Square. Yeah. Karen, go and report for us what you think. Yeah. Head on down there, Karen, if you can, let us know, or maybe tomorrow or something, let us know. And I'll see if I'm going to come back tomorrow and talk about some things. If anything happens, I think I covered everything for now. I want to thank you for joining me tonight, and I will be seeing you possibly tomorrow, okay? And you are welcome, Marie. Thank you. You know, I love you all. Meep, meep. And we will see you very soon. So again, it's Inner City Press. Excellent coverage. All right. Okay. You're welcome. Thank you, Jim. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Judy. He's also on Telegram. Oh, wonderful. Okay. Sharon, you're welcome. Thank you, Nixon. Bless you. Bless you. Yes. Love and light to you. Jen. Love you, Jen. Thank you. All right, everybody. I'll see you. Live, laugh, love. Love you all. Bye-bye. See ya. Thank you, Diana. Appreciate you being here. Thank you, Sequoia.earth. Thank you. You all make it easy for me. Love you, okay? Take care. Bye-bye.